And up next, we have Rosalee Calillo, and tonight she'll give us all a full-blown education in her piece called A Full-Blown Education.
Thank you. Oh. When I went to college in the 50s, there was a lot of partying going on. And I discovered the joys of tobacco and alcohol. My parents weren't really big drinkers, so they didn't catch on to what I was doing. However, our house had hardwood floors. So occasionally when I would come in from a campus party, pretty inebriated, I would sneak in and then fall with a loud thud on those hardwood floors, and I would lie there terrified that my parents would wake up and find me inebriated. They never did, so the revelry continued. So, fall of 1953, my mother towed me to Sacramento State College to enroll in the fall semester. I was 17. I looked like I was 13, which of course I really hated that. My sister had graduated from University of Illinois, and she said, go to college, you'll love it, you'll have good experiences, meet neat people. My parents made it clear I had no other choice. I was to go, finish my education, become a teacher, which is what they were, and that was the only decent path for me. So I had no real life experiences. So I started class, and I was living at home, going to classes, and it occurred to me pretty quickly, because my parents had had complete control of my life up to then. My mother had taught at my grammar school, my father at my high school. But now, if I skipped a class here and there, well, to my credit, I never missed a drama class. But if I skipped math or physical education or economics, nobody would know, nobody would tell on me. And I could do things at night too. I could go out and party. Now, my freshman year, my grades weren't too bad. My sophomore year, they kind of slipped a little bit. But I was going out and partying all the time, and it'd be more fun to be with my friends and to take part in college productions, drama productions. So I did a lot of that. So by my junior year, well, I had some D's and F's, and by midterm I was on probation, and by the end of my junior year, I flunked out. I blew it. Well, or did I? Well, I was ashamed of myself, and I was kind of scared. I wasn't going to school anymore. What was I going to do? And my parents were smart enough to make it really clear I needed to find employment. So pretty quickly I found myself bored to death in an insurance office 5 days a week, typing and filing. I now had more freedom, though. I was able to get a rented room and saved a little money, and then I got my own apartment. And I lived right downtown. I was in walking distance of the community theater, so I could do that, and walking distance of my favorite bar, because I had discovered tobacco and alcohol. I had wanted to be mature, and at that age, I thought to be mature, you would drink and smoke, cut your hair, So I would go to my bar on the weekends, and many times at the end of the evening, I would be sitting on the curb in front of the bar regurgitating beer and whiskey, rum 151 proof. Fortunately, I do not have an addictive personality. Well, there is chocolate and theater. Well, I went on with few dull jobs for a few years, and then I got married. Now, my husband was a teacher and a coach, and he did not approve of theater, nor did my mother, nor did his parents. And besides, I was expected to be a dignified faculty wife. That was now my role. So I caved in, I gave up theater. I really missed performing. But happily, in a couple of years, I had my baby girl, and I really liked motherhood. But after 7 years, I got a divorce. Back to dull office work. It was kind of a challenge to, raise my daughter on a small salary, but she and I enjoyed our circle of friends and politics. It was the 1960s. Well, we did okay. Well, like I said, still back on the dull jobs, but one lovely day at work, after kissing a lot of frogs, I met my prince. And he too liked theater and politics, and he too needed another year to finish college. And it just happened I was working at good old Sac State by then. So he got his degree in government. Well, we really enjoyed the academic life. It was the 70s by now. There were sit-ins and there was concerts, and it was just the academic life was wonderful. And it occurred to me, I can go back to school. I'm right here on the campus. So I took one little class at a time for a while, and then I thought, I'm going to get my degree and become a teacher finally at last. So I enrolled. Well, I found the classes that were required to get a teaching credential really uninspiring. I was working at the campus psychologist's office. It was really interesting and really exciting. I thought, that's for me. I want to help people. I want to cure people. I'm going to become a psychologist. So I changed my major to psychology. And that lasted a few months, but I found those classes tedious also. Well, in the meantime, I'd gone back to performing. They had campus theater. I'd written a little skit and performed it, went over well, and started doing some other things. So it was pretty obvious that my passion was theater. So, of course, my final choice for a major was drama. It was a happy day, that spring of 1979. My father was still living, so he was able to be there and see me. And my husband, and a lot of my family, my niece even graduated that same day. And as the button I was wearing my friends had given me said, I've done it, I've won it. Got my degree in drama. Well, I still had some. Oh, and also, I like to think that I inspired my daughter also. Because a few years later, after a full career in the Navy and raising our 3 wonderful grandchildren, she got her master's in therapy at Cal State Northridge. Well, I still had some dull, boring jobs even after getting my degree, but I like to think that my education helped. For a while, I dressed up in a bear suit and was a children's entertainer. And my very last job with the federal government before I retired, I was a forklift truck driver. That was a lot more fun than office work. And now, at age almost 82, I am still working part-time. I'm doing historical interpretation for children's field trips, so it's my dream job. I can teach children and I can entertain. You are never too old to learn. You are never too old to make changes. You're never too old to find your dream job. You're never too old to find your prince or princess. You are never too old to wear your graduation dress.